Netflix's The Sandman just revealed 12 new characters. Now, the time between Netflix first announcing it was going to adapt Neil Gaiman's The Sandman into a television show in June 2019 and now kind of feels like a very strange dream. But clearly the streaming service is not asleep at the wheel. After announcing key cast members back in January 2021, Netflix revealed a metric ton of new cast members on Wednesday that will be joining the highly anticipated adaptation of this comic book classic. In a press release from Netflix, the Sandman creator and executive producer Neil Gaiman revealed 12 new cast members are joining this production, and he confirmed they are currently shooting The Doll's House, the second major arc of the Sandman story. From Dream's metaphysical siblings of the Endless to John Constantine's occult-adventuring great-great-great-grandmother, the already stacked cast is so deliriously delightful it might just be the death of me. I said! Now, in case you've been hitting the snooze button for like 30 plus years, The Sandman is one of the most critically acclaimed comic books of all time. Written by Neil Gaiman and published by the now defunct Vertigo imprint of DC Comics, The Sandman ran for 75 issues between 1989 and 1996. Now, the series itself follows Dream, who's sometimes referred to as Morpheus, who is quite literally the king of all dreams. He is one of the Endless, a family of metaphysical beings that represent concepts like death, desire, destiny, despair, delirium, and destruction. After being imprisoned by occultists for nearly a century, Morpheus, aka Dream, escapes captivity, recovers his stolen objects of power, and seeks to rebuild his fractured kingdom. Now, they're making some changes, but the Netflix series basically is going to follow the first two story arcs, it sounds like. Joining the previously announced Tom Sturridge as Dream, Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer, the ruler of hell, Vivian Achiampong as the librarian Lucien, Boyd Holbrook as the toothsome serial killer the Corinthian, Sanjeev Bhaskar and Asim Chowdhury as the murderous siblings Cain and Abel, and Charles Dance as the grizzled occultist Roderick Burgess are a murderer's row of talented actors. Let's start it off with a trio of Dream's all-powerful siblings. Playing the archetypal goth girl and Dream's wiser, nicer, and much more sensible sister is the Good Place and Barry star Kirby Howell-Baptiste, who apparently won the highly coveted role after hundreds of talented women from all over the world auditioned for it. As Dream's capricious, wish-fulfilling sibling Desire is Mason Alexander Park, who's also going to be appearing on the highly anticipated Netflix adaptation of Cowboy Bebop as Gren, so collecting those nerdy Infinity Stones right there. As Desire's twin sister, we have Despair, who represents the moment where all hope is lost, and in the comics dwells in a mirror-filled realm with a bunch of rats. It's the Hitman's Bodyguard star Donna Preston. After that, we come to the relative of another iconic DC Comics character, John Constantine. Long before everyone's favorite hard-drinking, foul-mouthed Englishman dabbled in the occult, his great-great-great-grandmother, Joanna Constantine, was an occult adventuress way back in the 18th century, so it's a family business. According to Neil Gaiman, the character was so popular she spawned her own spin-off series. When we broke down the first season, given that we knew we'd be encountering Joanna in the past, we wondered what would happen if we met a version of her in the present as well, he added. And to bring her to life, they enlisted the most companionable person possible, Doctor Who star Jenna Coleman. Next up, we have Roderick Burgess as Lady Love and John Dee's mother, Ethel Cripps, who will be played in the past by Neve Walsh and in the present by Joelle Richardson in a role that's being significantly expanded from the comics. As her son, the madman John Dee, who goes on to become the supervillain Dr. Destiny, they've enlisted the one and only David Thewlis, who's no stranger to lunacy, especially after playing Remus Lupin in the Harry Potter films. Because he's a werewolf. Anyway, in the comics, he gets a hold of the Dreamstone Ruby, which lets him control the dreams of mere mortals, something that will surely incur the wrath of our hero, because it's impinging on his turf. In addition, we have a handful of characters that will be featured much more prominently in the Doll's House story arc, including Kyo Ra as Rose Walker, a young woman who's searching for her missing brother, and has an unexpected connection to Dream himself, which I won't spoil here. Playing the daughter of Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, we have Razan Jamal as Lyda Hall, Rose's friend who's also mourning the death of her husband Hector, who you may know best as Dr. Fate, but in the original Sandman comics goes by another apt superheroic moniker in the Dreaming, Sandman, which also a Golden Age hero. Next up, we have a true icon of oversleeping, Unity Kincaid, who's Rose's mysterious benefactor and a woman that slept for literally 100 years straight, as played by Sandra James Young. After that, we have Rose Walker's sword cane-wielding protector, Gilbert, as played by the one and only Stephen Fry. Better known as Fiddler's Green in the comics, Gilbert is actually a sentient part of the Dreaming of which all travelers dream of one day finding, and he's modeled after author G.K. Chesterton. And last but not least, we come to one of Dream's most trusted companions and emissaries, Matthew the Messenger Raven, a talking bird who's actually the reincarnated version of Matthew John Cable, the ex-husband of Abigail Arcane who first appeared in the pages of Swamp Thing. You know, that old classic explanation for this. And to bring that character to life, Neil Gaiman wondered if they could find a die-hard Sandman fan that used to wait in line to get his Sandman comic signed. Well, the answer was yes, duh, of course they could. And that's how Patton Oswalt became the first person they cast in the series the day before they pitched the show to Netflix as Matthew the Messenger Raven. And there you have it, folks. That is everyone who's joining the Sandman cast, which is getting beefier and beefier with each passing day. And while we still don't have a release date yet or a trailer, we'll keep you up to date over on Nerdist.com, jolting awake, don't wake daddy style the moment we learn more. That dude has abs of steel. In the meantime, though, tell us, what do you think about this news? What do you think of these castings? And what do you want to see from a Sandman series, and why? Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.